In the early summer in Boston, Massachusetts, Olivia Wilson had just finished editing her latest travel article in her penthouse apartment. Bright natural light illuminated the entire room, with a spectacular view of Boston Harbor stretching outside her window. She took a deep breath and typed the final sentence on her laptop screen. Sometimes, the most beautiful views are found not on distant horizons, but within ourselves. With a click of the publish button, her words and photographs would reach millions of readers around the world. Olivia ran a popular travel blog called World Wanderlust and was an influencer with millions of followers on social media. Her refined aesthetic eye and honest documentation of travel experiences were widely supported by readers, and invitations from luxury hotels and resorts around the world were constant. However, behind her professional smile lay a deep wound of complicated family relationships. Olivia lost her mother to cancer when she was 10, and 2 years later, her father George married Carol Reynolds, a real estate broker. Carol had a daughter named Ashley, who was 2 years old at the time. "Olivia, that photo again?" Carol's voice sounded sharp over the phone. "When will your internet job ever become stable? George is always worried." Olivia sighed and responded, "Carol, this isn't just a hobby. My blog is." Yes, Carol interrupted. "Your blog. We're having a family dinner this Friday. George wants you to come." Carol's words always contained subtle sarcasm. She never truly acknowledged the success of Olivia's travel blog as a real job. In Carol's eyes, Olivia's lifestyle was merely an extravagant hobby. "All right, I'll be there," Olivia answered. "Where are we meeting?" Ashley made the reservation. "She's so thoughtful," Carol's voice always had a special tone when praising her daughter. "Harbor Bistro at 7. Don't be late." After hanging up, Olivia stared at her reflection in the panoramic window. Against the backdrop of the beautiful city view was the image of a successful woman. However, in her family relationships, she remained the neglected stepdaughter. After her mother's death, Olivia's world gradually began to change. Carol pretended to be a caring stepmother in public, but when they were alone, she was cold and distant. Young Ashley followed her mother's attitude and gradually began treating Olivia as an annoying sister. What hurt most was that her once loving father, George, gradually began to look down on Olivia under Carol's influence. "You're too much of a dreamer," George said. "You need to be more practical like Carol." When Olivia decided to major in tourism in college, her father didn't hide his disappointment. He had wished for his daughter to continue the family real estate business. And Ashley had gladly taken on that role. Friday night, Olivia arrived at Harbor Bistro. In the elegant restaurant overlooking the sea, her family was already seated by the window. Carol wore a gleaming pearl necklace, while Ashley was dressed in the latest designer dress. Father George, as always, wore a sophisticated suit and nodded at Carol's words. "Well, here she comes," Carol said. Her voice lacked any warmth of welcome. "Good evening," Olivia smiled as she took her seat. "Lovely restaurant, Ashley." "Yes, those of us with real jobs need to know these places," Ashley replied sarcastically. At 27, she had begun making a name for herself in social circles, armed with her mother's sharp tongue and physical beauty. George pretended not to notice the exchange between his daughters. "How have you been, Olivia? How's the blog going?" "Very well, Dad." "Actually, Olivia, let's not talk about your hobby," Carol interrupted. "Ashley just closed a big deal with a major real estate company in New York. Your father is very proud." George beamed with a smile and squeezed Ashley's hand. "She's really talented. She's taking my company to the next level." Olivia maintained her smile and reached for her wine glass. After taking a sip to calm herself, she changed the subject. "Actually, I have a proposal for everyone." The three looked at her. Wariness flickered in Carol's eyes. Remember that Florida resort, Paradise Retreat, that I covered recently? The owner gave me a special invitation. A week's stay for a family of 4. All expenses paid. Free? George's eyes lit up. He always had an eye for a good deal. Yes, as a thank you for my blog and influence, Olivia explained. It's a wonderful resort with a private beach, spa, 5-star restaurants. Can you afford to take us? Carol's voice was tinged with doubt. Olivia took a deep breath. It's my invitation, Carol. Everything's arranged. I thought we could spend time together as a family. Ashley exchanged glances with Carol, making a calculating expression. A free luxury resort? Not bad. When can we go? George asked. Next week. 7 days. So suddenly. Carol protested, but couldn't resist the temptation of a free luxury vacation. But I'll check Ashley's and my schedule. Olivia smiled quietly. She had a genuine desire to repair family relationships. Perhaps time at a luxury resort might strengthen their bond. However, deep in her heart, there was also a bit of anxiety. She wasn't certain this trip would bring the results she hoped for. Still, Olivia didn't give up hope. The dazzling Florida sun illuminated the luxurious entrance of Paradise Retreat. As palm trees swayed in the wind, Olivia eagerly stepped out of the driver's seat and took a deep breath. The scent of sea breeze and tropical plants enveloped her, filling her with pleasant anticipation for the vacation ahead. Finally here, Carol said as she got out of the passenger seat. The flight was exhausting. I haven't traveled economy class in years. Olivia maintained her smile, but inwardly she held her breath. She had suggested first-class seats, but Carol and Ashley insisted on economy, arguing, if it's free anyway, let's save the money for other things. Before Olivia could object, George agreed with Carol, and the matter was settled. This hotel has a truly wonderful reputation, Olivia said brightly. I've secured 4 ocean-facing rooms. I think the view will be breathtaking. Ashley looked up at the luxurious hotel as she got out of the car. Well, not bad for your blog. Her voice had a hint of surprise. Olivia nodded to the hotel porter. A young man rushed over and began taking their luggage, but Carol waved him away. Olivia, since this is a perk from your blog, you should be the one to arrange everything, Carol said indirectly. We'll go ahead. Olivia said nothing and began organizing all the luggage. George hesitated for a moment, but ultimately followed Carol and Ashley into the hotel lobby. Olivia carried 4 people's luggage with the porter, sweating as she headed to the lobby. The lobby, adorned with high ceilings and luxurious furnishings, truly had the character of a 5-star hotel. Her family was already waiting at the front desk, with Ashley checking her cell phone with a fruit juice in hand. Olivia approached the front desk and began confirming the reservation. Ms. Wilson's reservation, the female front desk staff smiled. Your blog post and social media posts were wonderful. Thanks to you, many guests have discovered our resort. Thank you, Olivia responded politely. Are the rooms ready? Yes, we'll proceed with check-in right away. The woman checked the screen. We have 3 rooms prepared. One for George and Carol Wilson, one for Ashley Reynolds, and... Olivia frowned. I should have reserved 4 rooms. The front desk woman checked the screen again. I'm sorry, Ms. Wilson. Our records show 3 rooms. 2 special suites and 1 deluxe ocean view. As Olivia looked confused, Carol interrupted from the side. Is there a problem? It seems there are only 3 rooms, Olivia explained. I'm sure I reserved 4. Carol exchanged glances with Ashley and gave a strange smile. Oh, right. Actually, Ashley changed the reservation. We don't need 4 rooms, do we? Wasteful spending isn't good. Olivia looked at Ashley with a confused expression. But there are 4 of us. Sister, Ashley said in a sweet voice. You're the coordinator of this trip, right? You're like our baggage handler. So, you don't need to stay. A moment of silence spread through the lobby. The front desk woman wore a confused expression. Olivia looked at her father in disbelief. Dad? George cleared his throat uncomfortably. Olivia, what Carol and Ashley say makes sense. You're the liaison with the staff here, and you have your blog work. Don't worry about us. That's right, Carol added. We want to spend time as a family. You must be busy. Pain shot through Olivia's chest. She had planned this as a reconciliation trip with her family. However, to them, she was merely a free vacation ticket. I don't understand, Olivia said in a small voice. This was supposed to be a family trip. Ashley shrugged. You're the baggage handler. Only family stays. Carol laughed lightly. How about the motel next door? It's a bit dirty, but it should be just right for an adventure lover like you. George also turned toward Carol and Ashley, smiling. Why don't you stay at the dirty motel next door? I'll cover the cost. The front desk woman was clearly confused but maintained her expression as a professional. Olivia took a deep breath and suppressed her emotions. The cold treatment from her family for more than a decade. This wasn't the first time. It's fine, Olivia answered quietly. No problem. Carol smiled with satisfaction and received the room keys. Well, we'll go to our rooms. Could you have the luggage brought up? Olivia said nothing and nodded. Watching her family head in a different direction, she took out her smartphone. She began dialing numbers and making a call. The front desk woman approached her apologetically. Ms. Wilson, I'm terribly sorry. A different room. Olivia raised her hand to stop her. It's fine. Thank you. The phone connected. Hello, Michael. This is the manager of Paradise Retreat, right? It's Olivia Wilson. Yes, I've arrived. Is everything set for that special private tour? Wonderful. I have one more request. She spoke quietly on the phone, a faint smile appearing on her face. The next morning, the lobby of Paradise Retreat was filled with morning light. Sunlight streaming through the large glass windows gave a shine to the marble floor, and the vivid green of tropical plants adorned the interior. The 3, Carol, George, and Ashley, had gathered in the lobby for breakfast. Magnificent view, Carol said with satisfaction. The sunrise was truly beautiful from the ocean view room. George nodded, relaxed in his luxury hotel bathrobe. This is shaping up to be a good vacation, the first in a long while. Has Olivia contacted us? Ashley asked, checking her cell phone. What activity should we do today? Not yet, Carol took a sip of coffee. She'll come with the schedule soon. That's her job. As the 3 discussed breakfast plans, hotel staff suddenly began to move busily. Several staff members gathered in the lobby, seemingly preparing for something. A large screen was being set up, and a projector was being prepared. Is there some event? Carol tilted her head. At that moment, a smartly dressed man approached the 3. On his chest was the hotel logo and a nameplate that read, Michael Brown, General Manager. Good morning, Michael greeted them politely, but his expression showed confusion. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson and Ms. Reynolds, correct? Yes, George answered. Is there a problem? Michael seemed to hesitate for a moment. No, not a problem exactly, but a special event is starting. We'd like you all to participate. Before he could finish, the large screen in the lobby lit up. The screen displayed the World Wanderlust logo, with a title that read, The Sad Story of a Travel Blogger Alienated by Her Family, prominently beneath it. The blood drained from the three faces. The screen showed a blog post detailing yesterday's events. Olivia carrying all the luggage, handling the check-in procedures. The family calling her a baggage handler and suggesting she go to the dirty motel next door. Everything was vividly described. This is. George was at a loss for words. This is Ms. Olivia's blog, Michael explained quietly. It seems to have been posted last night. It's already been viewed over 1 million times. Ashley hurriedly took out her cell phone and checked Olivia's blog. This can't be, the comments section is exploding. At the bottom of the screen, angry comments from readers continued endlessly. That's not what family means. My heart aches at their attitude. Olivia, you're a wonderful blogger, you don't deserve such treatment. This family should be ashamed. Carol stood up, her face flushed red. This is a misunderstanding. Olivia is just twisting the situation. Michael shook his head apologetically. I'm sorry, but yesterday's interaction at the front desk was recorded by surveillance cameras. As per hotel policy, disrespectful treatment of VIP guests is not permitted. VIP guest? George asked with a confused expression. Ms. Olivia Wilson, Michael's voice was filled with respect. She is one of our key promoters and has introduced many celebrity guests to us. In fact, about 15% of our bookings come through her blog. Carol and Ashley were speechless. George collapsed into his chair, holding his head. At that moment, a large black limousine arrived at the hotel entrance. The driver got out and, while opening the door, called out loudly. Special reservation for Ms. Olivia Wilson. As other guests in the lobby watched with interest, Olivia, dressed in elegant sunglasses and sophisticated resort wear, stepped out of the limousine. Behind her followed a man who appeared to be a private tour guide and a woman holding a camera. As Olivia entered the lobby, she received a warm welcome from the surrounding staff. Michael bowed deeply to her. Good morning, Ms. Wilson. All preparations are complete. The private yacht is scheduled to depart at 9 o'clock. Olivia smiled. Thank you, Michael. She looked in the direction of her family. The three stood in the lobby, overcome with confusion and embarrassment. Olivia approached them gracefully. Good morning, her voice was calm. Did you sleep well? Olivia. George stumbled over his words. What, why? Oh, this? Olivia pointed to the blog post on the screen. I thought my readers had a right to know the truth. Don't worry, I changed the names. Ashley, upset, protested, You're deliberately embarrassing us. Olivia quietly shook her head. No, Ashley. I'm simply telling the truth. Remember the words, you're the baggage handler? If that's true, I'm just doing my job. Carol tried to maintain her dignity. Olivia, what are you trying to do? We came here at your invitation. Yes, Olivia smiled. But my invitation was for a family trip. Yet yesterday, you made it clear that I'm not family. So, I thought family-only benefits should be revoked. Michael said quietly, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Ms. Reynolds, but as per hotel policy, we don't accommodate guests who have insulted VIP guests. Your luggage has already been brought to the lobby. What? Carol raised her voice. You're kicking us out? Just policy, Olivia shrugged. Don't worry. As I said, there's a motel next door. It's a bit dirty, but it should be just right for you all. George looked at his daughter with pleading eyes. Olivia, please. We're family. Pain flashed in Olivia's eyes for a moment. Family? Dad, you haven't treated me like family for a long time. You yourself chose Carol and Ashley. She adjusted her sunglasses and turned to the private tour guide. Let's go. The yacht is waiting. On her way to the limousine, Olivia turned back and threw one last comment to the three standing in the lobby. Stay tuned for the blog update. Today's article is titled A Journey to Discovering True Worth. Olivia paused before getting into the limousine. Something stirred within her. The accumulated pain and alienation from throughout her life. But at the same time, deep in her heart, there was still a desire for family bonds. Taking a deep breath, she closed the limousine door and returned to where her family stood. In the lobby, the three, Carol, George, and Ashley, stood in front of a pile of luggage already brought out by the doorman. Carol's face mixed anger and humiliation, and Ashley was still checking her smartphone, upset about the number of critical comments directed at her. Only George showed colors of deep regret. Olivia, George noticed his daughter and called out. Please, let me talk. Olivia stood before the three and removed her sunglasses. Her eyes held determination and calmness. Last night, I stayed in a dirty motel, she said quietly. The room was small, and the shower was nearly broken. But that wasn't a problem. I've slept in more harsh environments. Olivia stepped forward. Other guests and employees in the lobby quietly paid attention. The problem is that for more than 20 years, I've lived in a dirty motel in my heart. A room unloved by parents. A space excluded from the family circle. That was more painful than any physical discomfort. Carol opened her mouth to protest, but George grabbed her arm, silencing her. Olivia, George's voice trembled. Dad, no excuses, Olivia said quietly. I invited you all on this trip to give you one last chance. I had hoped that we might spend time together as a family. But perhaps it's better that your true feelings have been revealed. She paused slightly, choosing her words. I am not a baggage handler. World Wanderlust is one of the most influential blogs in the travel industry, with over 10 million annual readers. My social media followers total more than 5 million. Bookings for hotels and resorts I recommend increase by an average of 30%. Olivia continued calmly. My contract with Paradise Retreat is a six-figure amount annually. This trip wasn't free. It was something I obtained in exchange for my influence. The blood drained from Carol's face. Ashley clutched her cell phone, checking Olivia's blog site again with trembling hands. There, indeed, were the figures she had mentioned. Hotel manager Michael approached. Ms. Wilson, I'm sorry for the delay. We've already prepared the private yacht and tour guide. Also, regarding the information you asked about, unfortunately, all nearby hotels and motels are fully booked. This weekend is very busy with a local festival. I see, Olivia nodded. Thank you, Michael. Carol said frantically, what does this mean? We can't stay anywhere? Oh, it seems that way, Olivia shrugged. That's too bad. George stepped forward. His face had a sincere expression that Olivia hadn't seen in years. Olivia, I was wrong. After your mother died, I was so desperate to become part of Carol's family that, without realizing it, I lost my own real family. I won't ask for forgiveness. What I did was unforgivable. Olivia looked directly into her father's eyes. Years of regret and pain floated there. Dad, I always wanted your acknowledgement, Olivia's voice trembled slightly. I wanted you to understand what I was doing. I wanted you to recognize it not as a hobby, but as my passion and career. I was foolish, George bowed his head. I had no eye for your talent. And above all, as a father, I failed to protect my daughter. Ashley said with a confused expression, but what should we do? If there's nowhere to stay? Olivia drew a deep breath and slowly exhaled. Within her, years of anger clashed with hope for a new future. I have options, she said quietly. I could evict you, make you leave this area. I could write more details about this incident on my blog, using your real names. That would destroy Carol's reputation in social circles and Ashley's credit in the real estate business. Carol and Ashley's faces turned pale. But that's not what I want to do, Olivia continued. I know the pain of losing family. I don't want to make anyone else feel that pain. Even if it's you all. She turned back to Michael. Can their stay be extended? Under my responsibility. Michael showed a slightly confused expression but quickly displayed a professional smile. Of course, Ms. Wilson. However, it will be different rooms, is that acceptable? That's fine, Olivia answered. Carol said with an expression of disbelief, You're helping us? Why? I'm not helping, Olivia answered calmly. I simply don't want to carry any more negative emotions. This is a decision for myself, not for you. George tried to take his daughter's hand, but Olivia slightly evaded it. Dad, this isn't forgiveness. Nor is it a new beginning. It's just changing how things end. From now on, I'll go my own way. Never again will anyone determine my worth. Olivia put her sunglasses back on and headed for the limousine. As she placed her hand on the door, she turned back one last time. Enjoy your stay, she said quietly. And if you truly want to repair the family relationship, it should be shown not in words but in actions. 20 years worth of actions. The limousine door closed, and the car slowly pulled away from the hotel entrance. Through the window, Olivia saw the three standing in the lobby. Her heart was filled with complex emotions, but at the same time, she was experiencing a sense of liberation she hadn't felt in years. Boston's autumn had painted the city in vibrant reds and golds. From the window of Olivia's penthouse, she could see the view of the common where falling leaves danced. 6 months had passed since the events at Paradise Retreat. Olivia was checking her latest emails while drinking coffee on the balcony. World Wanderlust had become explosively popular, with readership more than twice what it had been before. Her blog series, A Journey to Free Yourself, had resonated with many readers who had similar family issues. She couldn't help but be excited about the latest email from her agent. Olivia, wonderful news. The Travel Channel has finally presented a contract. A series called Olivia's World Adventure, with 12 episodes in the first year. The contract terms are even better than we discussed last time. Check the attached file for details. Olivia smiled. The TV show offer was a big leap for her career. And it was also an opportunity to further expand her influence. Her cell phone rang, and the screen displayed Dad. Olivia hesitated a bit before answering. Hello, Dad. Olivia, are you doing well? George's voice sounded softer and older than before. Yes, I'm fine. Work is busy, but fulfilling. Is the TV deal progressing? Yes, I just received a formal offer today. A happy intake of breath could be heard from George on the other end of the phone. Wonderful. Congratulations. I'm proud. Olivia fell silent. Words of praise from her father were once something she desperately wanted. Even now, those words felt good, but they were no longer the source of her self-worth. Thank you, she answered quietly. About Carol and Ashley. George spoke carefully, choosing his words. They're going through a difficult time. Since that blog post, Carol has lost her standing in social circles, and Ashley has lost several big clients. Olivia took a deep breath. She hadn't used her family's real names in her blog, but local people could easily guess. Moreover, rumors had spread among those who witnessed the events at Paradise Retreat, and they had reached Boston's high society. They're just facing the consequences of their actions, Dad, Olivia answered calmly. I didn't try to hurt them. I just wrote honestly about my experience. I understand, George said in a small voice. They're beginning to understand too. Especially Ashley, she seems to be reflecting. She's been reading your blog, it seems. Olivia looked out the window. The falling leaves dancing in the wind seemed similar to her state of mind. Past pain was gradually being carried away by the wind, and preparations for a new season were underway. Dad, I don't hate them, Olivia said quietly. But rebuilding trust takes time. And it requires action from their side. I understand, George said. Could we see you at Christmas? Olivia thought for a moment. I don't know. I might be filming in Indonesia around that time. But I'll consider it. After the conversation ended, Olivia stood on the balcony and took a deep breath. Her life had changed significantly. The events at Paradise Retreat weren't just a painful experience but a trigger that liberated her. The following week, Olivia was attending an event for the charity, Traveling Children. This organization provided travel opportunities for economically disadvantaged children. Olivia had become a major sponsor and was mentoring children without family support, using her own experiences. During the event, her assistant delivered a message. Olivia, there's an urgent email from Carol. It seems they're in financial trouble and are asking for help. Olivia read the message and smiled quietly. No reply needed, she told her assistant. This is a problem they should solve themselves. That night, Olivia began writing a new blog post. The title was, A Journey to Finding True Family, Beyond Blood Ties. She placed her fingers on the keyboard and began writing words from her heart. Family isn't necessarily about blood connections. It's a choice based on mutual respect, understanding, and above all, love. Sometimes we need to find our true family outside the one we were born into. Outside the window, the wind of a new season blew through the city.